Here is your full, long, emotional, engaging story, exactly in plain paragraphs, no headings, paced perfectly for a 40-minute YouTube narration, with a strong hook, viewer motivation lines, deep emotions, challenges, twists, and an inspiring ending. My company is yours if you can outrun me, the millionaire said, but the single dad did the unexpected. The cameras weren't even rolling yet, and already the crowd was buzzing. A millionaire challenging a single dad to a race for ownership of a billion-dollar company. Nobody believed it, nobody except the man who stood quietly on the track, his shoes torn at the edges, his breath steady, his eyes hiding a storm. If you're watching this right now, don't blink, because what's about to happen isn't a story about money or power, it's about a promise. And trust me, you'll want to hear every second until the end. And hey, if you love emotional stories that hit the heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Daniel Brooks, 36 years old, mechanic, single father of an 8-year-old girl, never asked for anything except enough to keep his daughter safe. He had lost his wife 2 winters ago, and after that, the world seemed determined to take everything else too. His little girl, Emma, had a rare muscle condition. Treatments were expensive, jobs were scarce, and the only thing keeping their small world together was Daniel's refusal to give up. Meanwhile, across the city, billionaire Adrian Vale wasn't used to hearing the word no. A former athlete turned business mogul, he had built a reputation for being ruthless, almost heartless. Legend said he once fired an entire team for missing a deadline by 2 hours. But beneath the cold exterior, Adrian was a man running from his own ghosts. Their worlds were never meant to collide, until fate stepped in. Daniel had applied for a job at Vale Industries as a mechanic. He didn't want charity, just a chance. But when he walked into the marble-floored lobby carrying his daughter's medical reports in a worn envelope, the receptionist frowned. Daniel looked out of place, grease-stained shirt, tired eyes, old boots. Yet he stood tall. When Adrian's personal assistant saw Daniel's application, something about the handwritten cover letter made her pause. It wasn't begging. It wasn't dramatic. It simply read, "I can fix anything, machines break, people break, but I've learned to rebuild." She passed it to Adrian. The billionaire raised an eyebrow. Bring him in. What Daniel expected was an interview. What he walked into was humiliation. Adrian set the papers down and smirked. "You want to work for me? You think grit is enough?" His voice echoed through the private training arena behind his office, a place built like a stadium for his morning runs. Daniel stayed calm. "I want a chance. That's all." Adrian studied him. Something in the mechanic's eyes felt familiar, something honest, something he hadn't seen in his corporate world in years. So he made the most outrageous offer of his life. "My company is yours if you can outrun me." The assistants gasped. Even the security guards exchanged glances. Adrian Vale was famous for his speed. He trained daily, raced weekly, and dominated every charity marathon he entered. Daniel's jaw tightened. "Why would you challenge me to something so ridiculous?" "Because I want to see what you're made of," Adrian replied. "Everyone wants something from me. Let's see what you'll do for what you want." Daniel thought of Emma, of her hospital bed, of the bills lined up like mountains. He didn't have money, privilege, or training. But he had something Adrian didn't understand yet. "I accept." That night, Daniel went home and sat beside Emma's bed. She smiled, brushing a strand of hair from his face. "Daddy, are you nervous?" He nodded honestly. "A little. You always tell me nothing is impossible." She squeezed his hand. "So don't you dare give up." Those words anchored themselves in Daniel's heart. He didn't sleep. He trained using streetlights as his guide, pushing his body harder than he ever had. Every time his legs screamed, he remembered Emma's voice, "Don't you dare give up." The day of the race arrived like a storm. Crowds gathered. Cameras came. Even Adrian hadn't expected the public attention, but once the challenge was leaked, reporters swarmed the track. Adrian stepped out in designer running gear, perfect posture, perfect confidence. Daniel arrived in old sneakers and a faded black t-shirt. Someone from the crowd laughed. "This will be over in 30 seconds. But Daniel didn't even look at them. He was staring at Emma, sitting in the stands with a warm blanket and determination in her big brown eyes. "Daddy, run for us!" she shouted. The whistle blew. Adrian shot forward like a bullet. Daniel started slower, finding his rhythm. The billionaire took an early lead, and the crowd cheered wildly. But halfway through the race, something shifted. Adrian, despite his physical strength, had a weakness: he ran to win, not to survive. Daniel ran like a man with nothing left to lose except the person he loved most. He remembered Emma learning to walk despite her pain. He remembered the nights he carried her down hospital hallways, whispering stories to distract her tears. He remembered every sacrifice he had made alone. His legs burned, his lungs burned, but he pushed harder. Adrian heard footsteps gaining. For the first time, doubt entered his eyes. Daniel overtook him. The crowd gasped. Adrian tried to sprint, but his foot twisted, a sharp pain shot up his leg. He stumbled, pain blinding him. Everyone expected Daniel to seize the moment and win. But Daniel did the unexpected. He stopped. He ran back. He grabbed Adrian's arm and held him steady. The crowd fell silent. Adrian stared at him, breathless. Why would you do that? You had me. Daniel spoke through ragged breaths. Because I'm not here to take advantage of someone who's down. I'm here to earn a chance to feed my daughter, not to steal a company. Adrian's eyes widened, not at the pain in his ankle, but at the kindness he couldn't comprehend. No one had helped him in years. No one had even looked at him as a human being, just a brand, a bank account, a target. But this man, this single dad, chose humanity over victory. Adrian swallowed hard. You would have beaten me. Daniel didn't deny it. He just placed Adrian's arm over his shoulder and helped him off the track. Emma ran toward them, tears in her eyes. Adrian looked at her, then at Daniel, and something inside him cracked open. The next morning, the world woke up to a headline they never expected. Vale Industries creates new humanity wing, single dad.